First of all, Rob, how was the international break for you? Did you get a break, or was it business as usual in terms of training?
Yeah. The gaff was nice to us, and we got plenty of time off, and we all got away and went on our own holidays. And I'm sure everyone's well rested, as I am, and we're ready to go into this next sort of batch of fixtures. Yeah.
There's been a lot of positives this season, and now we go into after the international break. I think 7 home games, 4 away games before the World Cup. Are you confident that the lads can keep it up?
I'd love to sit here and say that we can, but it's the Championship, and we know too well that every game is very, very tough, regardless if it's home or away. We've done well at home this season, and the fact that we're playing 7 at home is a real boost, and hopefully we can kick on. I mean, we've set the foundations of a good start, and we're going to take it game by game and try and pick up as many points as possible.
Because 12 months ago, mention of home form would have been the elephant in the room, but it's really come on, hasn't it? And it is a chance, hopefully, to make home advantage count over the next few weeks.
Yeah, as I said, what is it, seven home games against teams. You know, I mean, there's no easy games in the Championship, but you know, we'd be wanting to pick up as many points as we can from these next fixtures. Seems a long time ago now that we were struggling for that first home win, and you know, God knows how long. But I think we've turned a page, and we've, you know, I'm not going to say that we've turned it into a fortress, but I think we're getting there, and hopefully, you know, soon people will be dreading coming to Ashton Gate.
And from the stands, it looks like you're really enjoying your football personally this season. How much have you improved and come on over the last 12 months?
Yeah, I'm starting to, you know, the first season in the Champ is always probably going to be quite hard. So I've got that out of the way, you know, played quite a few games, and, you know, you learn the stadiums you go at, the sort of, you know, the tempo, the speed of the game, the people you're playing against, even your own teammates. So, you know, it's good to get that season done, and that's really helped my experience, and I think that's shown in my form, and I'd like to keep going, really. Yeah.
Are you fitter than you were 12 months ago?
Yeah, and that's credit to everyone here behind the scenes, from, you know, in the gym, in the physios, and Dave Rennie's been excellent, and you know, I've really worked hard in the off season. It's the hardest I've ever worked in order to get to a sort of stage where I'm fit, and I feel like that's not hindering me anymore. I mean, that was a very tough period last year. I was finding it really hard, but you know, that seems like a very long time ago now. So yeah.
And we enjoyed having Cal in the studio on Monday talking to Jeff. What's it like playing alongside him this season?
Yeah, it's great. I think he's a fantastic addition to the team, and I think he's one of the reasons why my form's improved. Is, you know, it's easy to play next to him. He's so good on the ball. You can trust him, and that allows me to, you know, pick up positions where I can, you know, get on the ball and then step forward and see what happens. So yeah, and you know, he talks. He's always in my ear, keeping me switched on, and that really helps as well.
And as a defender, are you excited by the forward talent that City have this season? I mean, Tommy's come into the first team, he's got goals, Naki and Andreas. You've got, of course, Antoine off the bench. There's a riches of talent there.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a pleasure to be playing against them every day in training. You get humbled quite a lot, bring you back down to earth, but it's only going to make us defenders better. I mean, we've got absolutely everything at this club that this league can throw us here, and you know, when you're playing against all these strikers, Chrissy as well, like you learn things every day. They're all totally different, and they offer different things, and whenever you come up against them in training, you've got to adapt and you've got to play to the sort of player they are. So yeah, it's a pleasure, and it's only going to make us defenders better.
Yeah, Nigel said you had an 11 against 11 today in training, and presumably no one holds back when it comes to training.
Yeah, they often get very competitive, and that's a good. I think that's a very good place to be, and you want to get the most out of these sort of games. And when everyone's firing and, you know, wanting to win, that's when the quality's high, and you know, you can relate it to a champ game, and that can only be good for anyone. And there's a lot of youngsters in there today as well, and they'll get a good taste of what it's like to be in a championship first team.
Yeah, and QPR above you in the league table, albeit by a point. It's very tight, isn't it? What do you expect from Queen's Park Rangers on Saturday?
It'll be interesting. We've done a bit of work on them earlier with the defenders, just to see what to expect. And as I said previously, like every team in this league's got quality to hurt, and we'll be looking out for that danger. Their front three are very threatening. Hopefully we can nullify it come Saturday.
Thank you for your time.
No worries.
Hi Rob. Your game has been more of an emphasis of you stepping out of defence with the ball this season and contributing to the attack. How did that kind of come about, that tactical move? Did that kind of come about in the summer?
No, it's actually always been a part of my game, really, even before I joined Bristol City. I used to be just like most defenders, really. Like they kind of slowly drop down the pitch as you get older. I used to be a centre mid, and it was a large part of my game then. That sort of running with the ball, and I sort of carried it with me as I went back as a centre back, and I didn't do it as much as I'd wanted to last season. So that's why it's probably a bit of a shock that people are seeing me do it now. But it's not something that it's just come about out of thin air from the summer. I've had that sort of ability to do that for a long time.
You say you've probably done it more this season than in comparison to last season, but why is that? I think you mentioned Calum Chambers coming in has kind of allowed you to do that.
Yeah, well, we've become a lot more possession based, which means we have a lot more of the ball, and when you have more of the ball, you can do more with it, and you get more time and more respect from the opposition, which naturally allows you to carry the ball forward a bit more. Last season, it's a bit turbulent in terms of my form. Like, started off well, and then obviously I got the illness, and it was just a very tough time. And when you're not fit, your confidence goes, and that's a big part of being positive. When you're not confident, you tend not to be as positive and don't take as many risks. And I think that's what it is. Stepping out of the ball is taking a risk. So yeah, that's probably my explanation as to why I didn't do it as much last season.
Pearson said in the club interview about this huge disappointment after the Burnley defeat, specifically among the players itself. But to lose that game when you came so close, does that kind of reflect, and the disappointment reflect the standards that the players are setting themselves this season?
Yeah, I'd agree. We got such a positive group, and we all expect so much from each other, and that's a good thing. And Burnley was a tough game. They had a lot of the ball, and that can often demoralise you a little bit when you just can't seem to get on the ball. But we did look very threatening when we had it, and we had chances, and I think that's where the disappointment come really. Even we were talking about it earlier, we reacted really well to conceding, and that first 10 minutes was a bit hectic, but after that we got into our shape, and normally we're on the front foot, we like to press, but we couldn't really do that. But we sat in, and we looked very comfortable, I thought, and the goal was a great cross and a great header. And it was a bit annoying at the time. I remember thinking before that we were so comfortable, they had a lot of the ball, but they weren't doing anything with it. So that's where the disappointment was. Yeah.
You strike me as quite a laid back guy. How do you deal with the emotional side of the game? Do you let the defeats bother you? Do you go home with it, or
you can't afford to? I mean, there's so many games you lose on Saturday, and then 3 days later you've got another game. You can't really afford to be down about it. And that works the same way with winning. You can't be too high, because you've got a game in a few days' time. You've got to go again. The win last week doesn't mean anything in this game. It means nothing. So you've got to go again.
Can I ask you finally from me about the defending of set pieces? There was a lot of emphasis last season. This season seems to be working a lot better from a defensive perspective. What has changed? Has it been a tactical change, or is it kind of a mental change?
we changed the way we defended set pieces towards the end of last season, and we went for a more zonal approach. And I think since then it's been a lot better. So I wouldn't say it's just this season. I think it was partly at the end of last season we got a lot better at defending set pieces. So I think that zonal change sort of helps the sort of like personnel we have, and allows us to be a lot stronger in corners, free kicks. But having said that, we're still not perfect, and every day we're working to get better at these sort of things.
Thanks very much.
No worries.